Good afternoon, I'm Milton Walker with the Midday News. A special welcome if you're watching on onespotmedia.com. Day 3 of the opposition's challenge to sections of the National Identification Systems Act in court, and the government continues to put its case to the judges. On day 2, Chief Justice Brian Sykes sought to get an answer as to why Jamaicans would be forced to give biometric data, such as fingerprints, under the proposed identification system. We now join our reporter, Dwayne Anderson, who is covering the trial.
Yeah, good afternoon, Milton. Good afternoon to our viewers on TVJ. So it is day 3 of the legal battle for the future of NIDS, as you outlined. And things got off to a testy start this morning with Justice Sykes scolding the Attorney General for what he said was her insult towards them. The exchange happened as the Attorney General, Marlene Malahoo Fort, continued her explanation of the constitutionality of NIDS. She said the judges ought to be mindful, that other people have rights that must not be infringed on by criminals. Now, an instant, Chief Justice Sykes asked what she meant by a judge of the Supreme Court has to be mindful of rights. He scolded that these are basic rights, so Mrs. Malahoo Fort can't tell a Chief Justice and the 2 senior judges that. He said if they as judges needed to know that, they would not be sitting here. He said, quote, "This is most insulting. How can you tell us that? Unless you think we are absolute idiots," end quote. Now to the meat of the matter in terms of legal arguments this morning, Justice David Bass and Chief Justice Brian Sykes questioned how much power was being afforded to police officers under NIDS. They pointed to a section that outlines that a judge shall not make an order authorizing a search of the database by police unless the court is satisfied that the investigative procedures have been done. But for them, that is not clear enough what the procedures are. They said it would be good if the police had something like a step 1, a step 2, and a step 3 to tick off in the investigation process before they come to the court requesting to go search people's fingerprints. The judges feel if this part holds, then all a police officer would have to do is come to court with an application, says he's investigating crimes like a burglary, and then he wants to go search people's fingerprints on the database. Here, Justice Sykes said the next thing you know, police officers will go tell his police friends, and then before you know it, the database is being searched 24 hours by police officers because they are, quote-unquote, investigating crimes. Now, finally, just as you joined us, the matter of destruction of any search of the database was being examined. The Attorney General, Marlene Malahoo Fort, was trying to explain the safeguards that were put in place in terms of the time that must pass before a search of the database by police had to be destroyed. She outlined that within weeks, police would have to destroy all the fingerprint or biometric data they pulled up on people, unless the police commissioner requests that they keep something. But again, the judges wanted to know who would check and ensure these searches are destroyed, because for them, unless a watchdog is there, then the police could always have the people's information for as long as they want. So, Milton, it is pretty interesting here on the third day. We will have a lot more in primetime news at 7, but until then, it's back to you.
Dwayne, thank you. With several crimes being committed against the nation's children, opposition spokesman on youth, Damian Crawford, says he'll be filing a motion in the Senate to change certain aspects of the law dealing with missing children. This comes in the wake of the recent killing of 14-year-old Raven Wilson, whose body was found on Sunday, 2 days after she disappeared. Senator Crawford is urging the government to take immediate action to change the minimum sentencing for child killers.
They can be sentenced between X year and Y year. When it's an automatic sentence, you can say, for example, if you murder a child, 25 years minimum or 30 years minimum, you will have a longer sentence automatic. So there's no room for anything less than this.
Mr. Crawford noted that almost 40 children have been murdered since the start of the year. The opposition spokesman said the motion will primarily look at changing the 24-hour waiting period for the police to start assisting families in searching for a missing child.
That should start. You shouldn't have to go home and come back tomorrow when you report a child missing. So the parent will have known the norms of the child, and once the child is missing, and based on the norms of the child, the parent should be able to report and the search starts immediately. We can't be too engaged in other activities not to do that.
Damien Crawford. Education Minister Senator Ruel Reid has suggested that approximately 70% of the country's student population could have some special needs. Senator Reid says he made the observation as discussions rage about whether students have achieved the desired goal. He cited data from a 2004 study that showed 24% of Jamaica's children had intellectual and cognitive deficiencies.
Statistically, 1 in every 42 of our boys are autistic. Let us understand that. This is the science, this is neurological science. 1 in 167 average of our girls are autistic between mild to severe.
Mr. Reid was addressing the opening of the Sam Sharp Teachers College Diagnostic and Early Intervention Centre in Montego Bay, St. James yesterday. Senator Reid noted that the ministry will be taking additional steps to assist parents with autistic infants as they prepare to enter them in school. Among the measures, he said, are sensitization engagements to be administered by the Early Childhood Commission. Residents of Four Parts in Clarendon are threatening to stage a protest over the poor state of the roads in their community. They highlighted their concerns at a town hall meeting in the parish recently. The details in this report.
The Four Paths Main Road, a busy thoroughfare in Clarendon. Residents say the road has fallen into a state of disrepair for some time now. On Monday, the residents demanded answers at the Clarendon Municipal Corporation Town Hall meeting. And if the matter is not addressed urgently, this warning.
Whether the councillor, the member of parliament, the mayor, the man who handled the money, Brian Brown, or anybody, it have to fix because we are going to block the road. We have to burn extra gas. We cannot drive on the main road because we have to cut across, and most time our muffler is torn off, coming across, going to Love Lane and chipping up to Mapen. We coming from Mapen, we have to come back. We cannot drive on the main road.
In the meantime, Member of Parliament for Southwest Clarendon, Noel Arscott, says remedial work is being done in the area.
Some monies were allocated for Four Parts to Whitney Turn, right? And some or the other, the money has been spent on that side and none was spent in Four Parts proper. However, some remedial work was done. They said they're probably doing it from that way to this way. But some work was done on the corridor here.
O'Shane Masters, TVJ News.
Motorists in several sections of the corporate area were stranded yesterday afternoon into last night after heavy rains caused flooding and triggered a major traffic jam. Marcus Garvey Drive, sections of downtown Kingston, as well as Waltham and Hagley Park roads were the worst affected areas. Our reporter Kirk Wright is on a tour with local government minister Desmond McKenzie of the affected areas and joins us live. Kirk?
Listen, that's correct. We do have the local government minister who is on the scene right now, and particularly we're talking about in the vicinity of the Tinsipin Airdrome. Earlier on, we understand that the Member of Parliament, Angela Brownberg, was here, and she too looked at the area, looked at, trying to get an understanding as to what might have caused the roads to be flooded. But Desmond McKenzie has just arrived, and he's also taking a look at the area. He is here with some people from his ministry, and also the town clerk is here looking at the situation. As it is now, let me paint a picture for you. The perimeter fence to the Tinsipin Airdrome, a part of it is broken down. And we understand that there's a gully that runs on the property. Our information is that that was flooded too. The water came onto their property, broke down the fence, and came onto the roadway. So they're here, people from Tinsipin Airdrome, their engineers are here trying to repair the fence. As you know, it's an airport, so it's high security. they are trying to repair their fence now. But we're yet to hear from the local government minister as to what will be done. And we also learned that Stephen Shaw from the National Works Agency is scheduled to be here any moment now. They will be assessing the situation and trying to understand if they need to do any repairs or whatever needs to be done to implement to prevent a recurrence of this situation. Nathan?
Caused the flooding in that particular area yesterday?
Well, on the sideline of the roadway here, we're seeing shrubs along a certain section. We're not sure if it would appear as if workmen came and took it out of the drain, or it could have been the water, left it there. But they're here. They seem as if they're strategically placed along the roadway. Debris, grass, plastics, cardboard, right along the roadway in the vicinity of the Tin Spring Airdrome, exactly the place that was flooded yesterday.
Okay, Kirk, thank you very much. That's all the time we have for this afternoon. Kirk Wright reporting live from Marcus Garvey Drive. We'll go now overseas. Questions are being raised in Trinidad and Tobago regarding the amount of money that has been allocated for flood assistance. However, the country's National Security Minister, Stuart Young, is cautioning against any panic. The details from Trinidad CNC 3.
If more is needed, more will be given. The $25 million being allocated to flood relief efforts is by no means a cap. This is according to the National Security Minister, Stuart Young, who says everyone affected by recent flooding will be given assistance in getting their lives back together.
The government is not going to say, we hit 25 million, shut the doors, everybody go home, tough who didn't get. But we are not as well going to just say, look, open the doors. We don't know. I am certain, because the last time this happened, I think it was 20 million or up to 30 million we put aside. And you'd be surprised at the low level of legitimate requests and grants that were given. It didn't even touch anything near that.
And the minister maintains government is grateful for the offers of assistance from various leaders. However, he says it is not necessary at this time.
There has been an outpouring by the international community of concern and a desire to help. We've thanked them at this stage. We don't think that we require the foreign assistance. We thank them very much for all of the offers. If we do need it, at that time, we will ask for it.
And the police commissioner is reassuring Greenville residents that efforts are being made to provide them with a sense of security.
We will remain in the Greenville area on a 24-hour basis, ensuring the safety and security of persons involved in cleaning up, as well as to ensure that there will be no looting or other illegal activities where at times in situations like this, people will tend to take advantage.
And here's a preview of what's coming up in this evening's Health Report.
The next edition of the Health Report, we look at the common flu and the dengue fever.
You'll have headache, the whole feeling of malaise where you feel flu, feel like you're having a flu. You'll have joint pains, you have headache, you have a temperature that doesn't really settle quickly. And so we advise that you see the doctor, you take your paracetamol 6 hourly as is advised or as is recommended by the medical persons, that you go to your primary healthcare facility, nearest health center.
That's the Health Report this evening in Primetime News. And now for today's healthy living tip. Here are some ways to manage dengue fever and the flu. Use mosquito repellents even when you're on the inside. If you're outside, wear long-sleeve shirts and long pants tucked into socks. For the flu, stay home and get plenty of rest. And drink plenty of fluids.
Suspected explosive devices were sent to former United States President Barack Obama and ex-Secretary of State Hillary Clinton's homes. This morning, for more, we join the CNN.
We're not only hearing about this suspicious package that you're just describing there now outside of Hillary Clinton's home in New York. We're now getting word from the Secret Service that they also intercepted a second suspicious package which was addressed to former President Barack Obama. That package, that suspicious package, was intercepted by the Secret Service here in Washington, D.C. Now, the Secret Service put out a statement saying that the packages, both the Hillary Clinton, they confirmed that there was a suspicious package that was found at the home of Hillary Clinton. I'm told by officials that that was found around 1 a.m. Outside of Hillary Clinton's home. Both these packages, according to the Secret Service, were identified during routine mail screening procedures as potential explosive devices and were appropriately handled as such. The Secret Service says that both Barack Obama and Hillary Clinton did not receive the packages, nor were they at risk of receiving them. And now the Secret Service and obviously the FBI and the local officials in New York are all investigating this. Now, what's interesting about this, Jim, of course, is that this comes just days after a pipe bomb, what is suspected to be a pipe bomb, was found at the home of George Soros in New York. That's in Bedford, New York, not far from the home of Hillary Clinton, in Chappaqua, New York, also in Westchester. So certainly something very concerning here is going on. The FBI's Joint Terrorism Task Force is heavily involved in this investigation with the Secret Service and local officials.
Okay, we have also learned since that report that suspicious package was also sent to CNN's Time Warner headquarters in New York, as well as to former U.S. Attorney General Eric Holder in the Obama administration's home or office in Florida. That's the Midday News. I'm Milton Walker. Join us at 7 for Primetime News on behalf of the news, sports and production teams. Good afternoon.